You open your eyes for the first time, and congratulations, you're royalty. Great-great-grandson of Augustus himself. The blood of Dodds runs through your veins. Too bad it's poisoned. The year is 37 AD. Your name is Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus, a mouthful no one will remember. Your father? Dead before you learn to walk. Your mother? Agrippina, a woman who treats ambition like oxygen. She's already planning your future. Every alliance, every marriage, every corpse. You're 4 years old when Emperor Caligula exiles her. You're raised by an aunt. You learn to read, to write, to stay invisible. Invisible children survive longer in Rome. Then Caligula gets stabbed 27 times by his own guards. Suddenly, your uncle Claudius sits on the throne.
Suddenly, your mother returns. Suddenly, she's whispering in the emperor's ear. Here's where it gets fun. Claudius needs a wife. Agrippina needs power. Roman law forbids uncles from marrying nieces. So they change the law. Your mother marries her own uncle. You gain a stepsister named Octavia. Guess who you're marrying? At 14, Rome declares you a man. At 15, you marry your stepsister. At 16, Claudius dies. Mushrooms, poisoned mushrooms, your mother's favorite recipe. The Praetorian Guard proclaims you emperor. Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, 16 years old, ruler of the known world. Your advisors are competent. Seneca, the philosopher, Burrus, the general. They guide your hand. You lower taxes, reform courts, punish corrupt governors. The Senate loves you. They call these the good years. Your mother stands behind you at every meeting. Her face on your coins, her voice in your decisions, her fingers around your throat. You don't notice the grip tightening, not yet. But something inside you is beginning to crack.
Your mother is losing control. She knows it, you know it, the whole palace knows it. And Agrippina doesn't lose gracefully. She starts threatening, whispers that she made you emperor, whispers that she can unmake you. She parades Britannicus around the court, Claudius's biological son, the rightful heir, the backup plan. Britannicus collapses at dinner, poison. Everyone watches him convulse. You keep eating. Just a seizure, you announce. He's always had them. He's dead before dessert. 13 years old. No more backup plan. But your mother won't stop scheming. She writes letters to generals, holds secret meetings, plots to replace you with someone more obedient. You exile her 60 kilometers from Rome. Not far enough. You try poison. 3 times.
She takes antidotes like vitamins. The woman is unkillable. So you get creative. You commission a boat, beautiful vessel, collapsible ceiling. The lead panels are designed to crush her while she sleeps. The hull will split open. She'll sink into the Bay of Naples. A tragic accident. Your engineers deserve a raise. The ceiling collapses. The panels fall. A couch breaks the impact. Your mother survives. The boat sinks. She swims to shore. Agrippina learned to swim in the Mediterranean. Of course she did. Brilliant strategy, really. No more subtlety. You send soldiers. 3 of them find her in a villa. She sees the swords. She knows. Strike here, she says, pointing to her womb. Strike the belly that bore Nero. They oblige. You view the body afterward.
Some say you commented on her figure. History remembers every detail. Something shifts inside you that night. The philosopher Seneca still offers counsel. You stop listening. Your wife Octavia still shares your bed. You stop caring. You divorce her, exile her, execute her. In that order. You marry Poppaea Sabina, pregnant, beautiful, ambitious. 2 years later, during an argument, you kick her stomach. She dies. The baby dies. You weep for months. You hold festivals in her memory. You castrate a slave boy who resembles her and dress him in her clothes. The good years are over. Lucky you.
July 18th, 64 AD. Rome sleeps. You don't. You're in Antium, your coastal retreat, 50 kilometers away, writing poetry, practicing lyre, being an artist. Then a messenger arrives, sweating, trembling. Rome is burning. The fire started near Circus Maximus, a spark in a shop, oil and wood everywhere. Summer heat, narrow streets, buildings stacked like kindling. You race back to the city. What you find stops your breath. Walls of flame, rivers of smoke, people screaming, children trampled. 6 days of unstoppable fire. 4 districts erased completely. 7 more gutted.
Temples that stood for centuries, ash. Markets where your people traded, rubble. Neighborhoods where families lived for generations, memory. You open your palace to refugees. You distribute food. You organize rescue efforts. You lower grain prices. None of it matters. The rumors spread faster than the flames. They say you watched from a tower. They say you wore stage costume. They say you played the lyre and sang the fall of Troy while your city crumbled. You weren't even there. You were miles away. You rushed back to help. But truth is boring. Scandal is eternal. Someone must pay. Someone must burn for Rome burning. You need a scapegoat. A small, strange cult catches your attention. They worship a crucified criminal from Judea.
They refuse to honor Roman gods. They meet in secret. They speak of apocalypse. Christians. Perfect. You arrest them by the hundreds. No trial, no evidence, just spectacle. You crucify them along the roads. You wrap them in animal skins and release dogs. You coat them in pitch and set them ablaze as human torches to illuminate your gardens. Among them, Peter, the apostle, the rock upon which a church will be built. You execute him on Vatican Hill, upside down by his own request. Ironic. 2,000 years later, his bones rest beneath the largest church on earth, built exactly where you killed him. Your persecution continues for 3 centuries, until an emperor named Constantine ends it.
But that's not your problem anymore. You have a palace to build.
From the ashes, you build heaven. The Domus Aurea, the Golden House, 80 hectares of absolute insanity. The Senate refused this project before the fire. Now there's nothing left to refuse. Convenient timing. At the entrance stands your Colossus, a 30-meter bronze statue of yourself dressed as the sun god. Visitors must crane their necks just to see your divine face. Perfect metaphor. Inside, madness made marble. Ceilings of ivory that rotate mechanically, showering guests with flower petals and perfume. Walls encrusted with gold, gems, and mother of pearl. Dining rooms with fountains that pour wine instead of water. Octagonal halls with domed skylights that track the movement of the sun. When you finally move in, you sigh with satisfaction. At last, you declare, I can begin to live like a human being. A human being. 80 hectares. Fountains of wine. You smile. You've learned to smile. But palaces bore you quickly. You need glory. You need applause. You need the world to witness your genius. Greece calls. The Olympic Games await. One problem. The games aren't scheduled for another year. So you reschedule them. You're the emperor. Time obeys you. You compete in chariot racing. You enter with a 10-horse team. No one else dares use more than 4. During the race, you fall off. You never finish the course. You win anyway. The judges explain, if you hadn't fallen, you surely would have won. Logic built for emperors. You compete in singing, acting, poetry. You win everything. 1,808 crowns. You carry them all back to Rome in a triumphal parade. Meanwhile, you marry Sporus, your freedman, castrated on your orders, dressed in empress robes, paraded through festivals as your wife. He looks like Poppaea. That's the point.
The Senate watches in silence. The provinces simmer with revolt. Your treasury empties. Governors sharpen their knives. You perform another concert. You receive more applause. Everything is fine. The year is 68 AD. You are 30 years old. And Rome is done with you. It starts in Gaul. A governor named Vindex refuses to collect your taxes. He writes letters to other governors. He calls you a tyrant, a madman, a bad lyre player. That last one hurts most. You send troops. They're slaughtered. More governors join the rebellion. Spain, Africa. The dominoes fall faster than you can count. Your Praetorian Guard, the soldiers sworn to die for you, start accepting bribes. The Senate meets without summoning you. Your servants vanish one by one. Even your cooks abandon the kitchen. You wander the palace alone, screaming for help, screaming for anyone. Silence answers. The Senate declares you a public enemy. The punishment? To be stripped naked, paraded through Rome, and beaten to death with rods. You flee at midnight. 4 servants remain, 4 out of thousands. You ride to a villa outside the city, your freedman's property. You crawl through a hole in the back wall to avoid being seen. You order them to dig a grave, your size, your shape. You pace back and forth, weeping, muttering to yourself, "What an artist the world is losing." Over and over. What an artist. Horsemen approach. Their hooves thunder closer. The Senate's executioners. You press a dagger to your throat. Your hands tremble. You can murder your mother, your wives, thousands of Christians, but yourself. Your secretary Epaphroditus guides the blade, steadies your grip, pushes. The steel sinks into your neck. A soldier bursts in. He sees you bleeding. He tries to stop the wound with his cloak, tries to save the emperor who burned Christians for light. Your eyes meet his. Your final words rasp through blood. Too late. This is loyalty. You die at 30. The Julio-Claudian dynasty dies with you. They try to erase you, tear down statues, scrape your name from monuments, build a Colosseum over your golden palace. 2,000 years later, we remember every emperor they tried to delete, especially you. Congratulations, Nero. You're immortal, just not the way you planned.